Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now before we start today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to Birdie because I'm literally talking to him on Discord, like, well, not right now. I was talking to him like 30 seconds ago and then I click record. So Birdie, I know you're watching. What's up? Have a safe drive home. But anyway guys, today I'm going to turn off my camera because we're going to do an ultimate upgrade guide, but not for super rares. We're going to be doing an ultimate upgrade guide for OG baby, old guard. Okay, so this is basically going to be like how I would upgrade every single old guard ultra rare, and then I will rank them as well. Now ultra rare is my favorite category. Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite rarity, but it's the rarity that I've invested the most in. I have over 530 max ultra rares and counting. It's gonna hit 6, it's gonna hit 7 probably. I love ultra rares because I think that this is the bread and butter of top drives. It's kind of like the noodles or the rice or whatever you want to call as a staple, because you're either putting them into epics that are also gonna win you legendaries, you know, prize cards out there, like really good epics at least, but they're also really great like RQ savers in a sense. Like, they're not crap commons and they're not underperforming super rares, but they're also not super OP epics and legendaries, but they can get close to some of them for a much cheaper price. I love ultra rares, so I'm gonna do an ultimate upgrade guide for ultra rares from old guard. So without further ado, we're gonna start off with the question of the episode: which car is not Blossom choice? Is it the Peugeot 306 Maxi, the Subaru BRZ, the Jaguar XKR 75, or the Lotus Elise Cup 250? I feel like if you've not been doing your homework, this might be a pretty tough question for you. So let me know down in the comments below. Basically, every car here is the best in something but one of them. So yeah, the one that isn't the best in something isn't the Blossom choice. Okay. 969, pretty obvious. These are obviously how I would upgrade all of these cars. You might think of them a little bit differently, that's completely fine, but this is how I would upgrade them. Also, I'm an avid ultra rare collector, and usually in this kind of series I would put like a slide at the end saying how many cars I would keep in duplicates. I didn't do that this time because the list is just way too big, so I'm just gonna tell you straight up. From everything that you see here, I would take duplicates of the Datsun 240Z rally car and the Fiat Abarth 131 Rally. Now, once again, I'm an avid ultra rare collector, okay? I will be getting, like I said, it's a personal list, so I'm telling you what I would get duplicates of. But like, just because I'm gonna get duplicates of it doesn't mean that you have to. Like the Abarth 131 Rally, for instance, isn't really something I feel like a lot of players need duplicates of unless you play a lot of clubs or unless you want to be the king of ultra rares. Then I think that you can just have one and that will be fine. But for me, I would get duplicates of the Datsun and the Abarth. Okay, moving on with 969, everything over here, I would also get duplicates of the Subaru BRZ, which is Blossom choice, by the way. I would also get duplicates of the Ford Flex. Now, the Ford Flex used to be worse than the Volvo 850, but thank God in PL15, they did something absolutely amazing, which was nerf the Volvo 850. So now we do have Ford Flex superiority. And I always said that this car, when it was a super rare, it always deserved to be an ultra rare, and it feels right. It feels right for it to be RQ50. You can even make an argument for 51. So the Ford Flex, I would get duplicates of. I would also get duplicates of the Mercedes AMG 6x6. I would drag spec one just for the hill climb and maybe the quarter mile, and then I would go 969 on like motocross and all the other stuff. I would also get duplicates of the Lancia Delta Integrale, as well as the Suzuki Swift Sport and the Subaru Levorg. Once again, if you're not an avid ultra rare collector, I don't think you need duplicates of the AMG or the Suzuki. So because of that, the first upgrade, let's say that I only had one of each of these cars, the first upgrade that I would put on all of them would be 969. When I get a second AMG G63, then I'll go drag spec. When I get like maybe a fourth Subaru BRZ, and I don't even have one right now, but if I get a fourth one, maybe I'll go dry spec. I'll go 233. But for the first three, definitely going to go 323. Okay, now we move on to 699. These are all the old guard ultra rares that I would 699, including the Bentley Flying Spur. Now, believe it or not, for the Bentley Flying Spur, I would get duplicates of this. I would 6991 for the dry, 9691 for the wet, and that's how it goes with most four-wheel drive cars. And it's going to be the same thing for these two Dodges over here, the Scat Pack. Well, both are Scat Pack. So the Challenger and the Charger, I would drag spec one each, and then I would 699 the other. Now, both of them have weak MRA. Like for Dodge, it's pretty disappointing. Their MRAs are in the high 70s. I believe it's like 77 or something. I think 77 for the the Challenger, and the Charger is like slightly better at 78, so it's not that much of a difference. I drag spec them only because I'm a Dodge collector. That's it. The Cadillac STS, I think all of those cards I would just 699 straight off the bat. Another one where I feel like maybe because I'm an ultra collector, I would probably 996 a BMW 1 Series M Coupe, but 996ing a BMW 1 Series M Coupe is very, very subjective. This is a car that still handles pretty well, and it doesn't have a top speed, and it has a low 0 to 60. But because I am a collector, I want to focus on that 89 MRA that the BMW 1 Series M Coupe provides. That being said, though, if I ever get the first one, it will always be 699, and that's why it's under 699. I do have an either or list at the end, but the BMW 1 Series M Coupe, like I said, like if you are an incredible ultra collector, if you are a BMW specialist, then go 996 on the second BMW 1 Series. But if it's just too niche for you to waste 60 grand and 15 ultra rares on a car that you will use in very niche situations, and I mean like a drag spec version of the BMW. If you only have one and you have limited resources, I would straight up go 699. Okay, moving on with 699 over here, I would choose every single car that you see over here from the Mercedes-Benz AMG C63, which got a slight MRA nerf, which makes me very sad. It used to be 89, now it's 80. The Donkavort D8 Audi as well, very lightweight car, not the best handling, but a low 0 to 60, and the weight is going to make it very strong. The Lotus Evora, well, basically almost every Lotus that you see over here is going to be 699. And we're gonna wrap it all up with these bangers over here, like the Peugeot 306 Maxi, the Porsche 911 Carrera S, the RGT, the 911 Turbo TVR, and the Porsche 911 GT3. Now, I want to let you know that the Roof RGT, it used to have 102 MRA. Yeah, not anymore. It did not retain its MRA in PL15, unfortunately. So it has, like, I think it's a pretty weak number, 70.86. The saddest thing about it is that it has such a high top speed, and it's never gonna hit that anymore with 70 MRA. When you think about it, that is Subaru numbers for MRA. It's sad. Well, at least it's 70.86 stock MRA according to Top Drive's Club. More and more people are starting to tell me not to follow Top Drive's Club for MRA anymore. Maybe that is the case. If it really seems like all the numbers are getting wrong for the MRA counts, then I'll start using Top Drive's records for that information. Okay, moving on to drag spec cars. These are cars that if I only had one of them, I would drag spec them. But to be fair, looking at this list right now, aside from the Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG and the Bentley Mulsanne Grand Limousine, I don't think I would be 969 or 699ing any other car over here. They would be drag spec any day for any amount I have them on. So the Range Rover, right? It is the new Trailblazer SS. It is ridiculous. It has a very low 0 to 60 and a decent top speed for a four-wheel drive SUV. Mercedes-Benz AMG S65. I mean, all these cars have just really, really good MRA. Not only MRA, okay? Because I've heard some people say Blossom only cares about MRA. Of course not. You gotta have that low 0 to 60 to back it up. And guess what? The Spikers have a low 0 to 60. The Mercedes is a low 0 to 60. The Maybach is a low 0 to 60 for its niche, right? So, C8 Laviolette right here. It's a Blossom choice, 95 MRA. Jaguar XKR, 95 MRA. Lamborghini Countach, 94 MRA. There is a Jaguar XKR 75 that is 93 MRI that I did not put on this list. It is in the either or. We'll see it later. The Maybach over here, 92 MRI. The Spiker, 91 MRI. This Mercedes S65, 90.7 MRI. Very, very strong cars. And then, like I said, here is the either or list. Okay, so the Jaguar XKR 75, I would go 699 first and then 996, mainly because the 699 version of the XKR 75 makes it the best car for the fast circuit. And then the 996 version still makes it a very, very strong car because of that low 0 to 60 combined with that 93 MRI. That's a car that I really want multiple of now. I got this car so many times as an Epic. I think I pulled it 4 times when it was Epic, and now I can't seem to get it as an Ultra Rare, which makes me kind of sad because the Jaguar XKR 75, you know, it was a weak Epic, but now it's a very, very good Ultra Rare, and I really want it. Okay, the BMW M5, it's the same thing over here. It's a king in that saloon niche, right? It's got strong MRI, 89, I believe, 89.36. It's got a really low 0 to 62, chief. I would 996 the first M5, but a 6991 would be very strong as well for the saloon niche and the 5-seater niche, especially on longer tracks like the fast circuit, the rolling fast circuit, or even the rolling hairpin. The Fiat Seicento Rally Spec, this is an interesting one. That's a typo. That is a typo. That is a typo. I'm sorry. These three are typos. These three are typos. I copy pasted everything, and I totally forgot that this is off-road tires, all surface and standard. I'm so sorry. Do not 699 any of these three cars, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now. Now let me turn on my camera. This is a serious moment, okay? Because I can't change it now. So you can't really look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I would not 699 that, okay? I would not 699 the Fiat. I would not 699 the GMC. I would not 699 the Honda. Okay, going back to it. Okay, so Fiat Seicento, I would either go 969 or 996. Okay, Honda Accord, same one. I would either go 969 or 996, and same for the GMC Yukon. Okay, so what would I upgrade first? So for the Jag, I would 699 first. For the M5, I would 996 first, drag spec. For Seicento, I would go 996 first, and then 969. Honda Accord, I would drag spec 996 first, and then 969. And GMC Yukon, I would go 969 first, and then 996. Mainly because the GMC Yukon, it's kind of useless, man. Like when you compare it to like the, you know, what's the other cars? When you compare it to the Trailblazer or the Range Rover over here, it's nothing. But anyway, guys, let's move on to my tier list. And I think you guys know how this works. We got Meta Outsider, Pernicious Ulcer, all the way up to De Kaiser, right? Best of the best. So Meta Outsiders, once again, I would say that out of every single tier list that I've made recently, this one is going to be the most subjective. Meaning like this is going to be my personal opinion, so take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But once again, I've been playing for almost 5 years. I have 533 Ultras max and counting, and well, I've made a million of these videos at this point. But like I said, this is probably the one where you need to take the most grain of salt for. This is going to be my personal opinion on how I treat these cars. So Meta Outsider, first of all, these 4 cars, I never use them. I mean, as an Ultra collector, I don't even have the BMW 123D. And to be fair, it used to be a super rare, but I never kept it as a super rare because it was a bad super rare, and it's still gonna be a bad ultra rare. Decent MRA, yeah, for, you know, a standard tire car, but it's not, you know, strong in any sense. It's just not weak. It's very mediocre. It's a very mediocre car, and there are very little situations where I think it's going to be useful in. Alright, Pernicious Ulcer are cars where you're going to use sometimes, like it's not completely worthless, but these are cars that you can definitely live without. And in my opinion, if you're a newer player and you're looking to upgrade like your campaign Camaro, or maybe you pulled an Epic that you think is pretty cool, and you have any of these Ultras, in my opinion, these are the ones that are going to be the first to go. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. These 4 cars are going to be the first to go if I have to fuse an Epic, and then these will follow suit. These cars are very, very weak. You're not going to use them very often, and you know, there's some cars in this category that I love very much, like the Mercedes SL500, the Porsche 911 2.7, and don't even get me started about the 6x6. I freaking love that car, dude. I maxed mine, and that's the one that went down from an Epic. I could have fused it into a Legendary, but I didn't decide to do that because I won this car almost 5 years ago. It's a sentimental value to me. It means a lot to me. It's a personal value to me, so I maxed it and I kept it. So a lot of cars here I do like, but they don't bring a lot of value. Okay, now moving on to Frequent Provider. These are cars where, okay, I see you, you know, they're pretty decent. Remember when I used a tag called I see you, I see you? That's basically what these are. You know, they are going to bring you value in multiplayer events. They are going to bring you value in you know, clubs. These are cars where if I only had one of them in my fuse pal and I needed to upgrade an Epic, I would think twice before putting it into an upgrade Epic or into a fuse upgrade for an Epic. They bring value. Okay, they bring value. Like these off-roaders over here, yeah, they're not the best. They aren't the Datsun, but they're still good, right? The Bentley Flying Spur, even this one, a heavy Bentley, but it's got that 4-wheel drive, it's got that medium ground clearance, and it is one of the higher performing cars now, and you have to acknowledge that. So yeah, I think for a 63, it's gonna be okay. You know, the Cadillac STSV and the CTSV, both of them provide their values, especially the STS with 89 handling, medium ground clearance, and only a mid-range ultra rare. That's a little bit of a bargain if you ask me, right? The Roof RGT, although it got a massive MRA cut, I still recognize the low 0 to 60 and the decent handling in the car as well. It is okay. It definitely ain't no 64. A 63 or a 62, yeah, it's all right. And of course the AMG C63. I love this car, and I wish it still had the 89 MRA that it used to have. If it had that 89 MRA, oh hell yeah, you know I bump it up a rank. But unfortunately, 80 makes it pretty mediocre. It's not medium ground clearance. Oh my goodness, back in the day, this car used to be RQ75. It used to have medium ground clearance. It used to have 89 MRA. That car used to be one of the best Mercedes epics in the game. But now, you know, even though with the nerfs, it's still one of the best Mercedes ultra rares. Not epics, but ultra rares, because it's not medium anymore. It doesn't have 89 MRA anymore. 80 MRA low ground clearance. But you gotta recognize handling is okay. It's still in a state, still a 5-seater or 5+ seater, and it still has a low 0 to 60. You max that baby out, it's gonna be about 3.4 0 to 64, and ultra rare ain't bad at all. 3.494. I used to have this max as an epic, man. I literally used to have that max as an epic. That's how much I loved that car. I still love it though. I still love it, but I'm not gonna be maxing out my epic version of it. I'm probably gonna fuse it away until legendary, and once again another AMG C63. Then I will max it out. Okay, moving on to daily driver now. These are cars that are for sure gonna get you value, bro. These are cars that are ridiculously strong. We move on from the Aston Martin Virage all the way down to the Mercedes S65. Like I said, take this list with a grain of salt, because although I'm an ultra rare collector, I don't have a lot of ultra rares in the old guard category, because a lot of these cars used to be epics, and I didn't have them as epics, or I had them as epics but I fused them away because they used to be bad epics. So bear with me, okay? There are cars like the BMW S65, the Lamborghini Countach 25th anniversario, and the BMW M3. These are cars that I'm gonna be honest, I've never owned them before. I've never maxed them before, so I never really know how they deploy for me, even though I played for 5 years, until I actually get to own them. So the only thing that I can rely on are the times, the MRAs, and basically what I've seen from, you know, opponents that own the cars, and maybe I've lost to them before. But from what I've seen, you can definitely get a lot of value from the Benz S65, from the Lamborghini Countach, and the BMW M3 looks pretty good, to be fair. 4.5 84, and it has way better MRA than the Roof RGT. I can see value in it for sure. And then there are some cars in here that I do own, which I can definitely attest for, like the Charger or the Flex or the Porsche 911 Carrera, which I'm really happy to own that one because I only got that very recently. The Lancia Delta Integrale, it used to be a super rare, but hey, it's a pretty good ultra rare, to be fair. I have 2 of the max them out with tokens, and I use them from time to time, mainly because of how versatile it is, right? 90 handling, 4-wheel drive, performance tires, medium ground clearance. I respect that. And of course the Spiker C8 Spider, only slightly worse than the Spiker C8 La Violette. So of course we have the best of the best on the top. And how many of these ultra rares are actually Blossom Choice? Well, let's have a count. BMW is 1, Peugeot is 2, Spiker is 3, BRZ is 4, Maybach is 5. You don't think I'd put the Lotus? I don't think I put the low, so that's 5. The Cup 250, that's not Blossom Choice. So if you thought that, you know, if you answered that at the start of the video, you'd be correct. Congratulations. Subaru Levorg is 6, XKR is 7, Range Rover is 8, and Mercedes S65 was very, 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 very close to be Blossom Choice. And honestly, I am second guessing. I feel like I should have put that in Blossom Choice. It is a very strong quarter-mile car, but I don't know. It's a very strong quarter-mile car and a city street small car. It's not going to win half-mile or 1 mile or test bowl. The top speed is very low, but the 0 to 60 in the MRA is good. It's very interesting. It's like an RQ64 version of a Charger 3. But like I said, I've never owned the car. I want to own the car, so I know it better. I would say that it's a Blossom Choice honorary mention for now. But yeah, out of every car that you see in Der Kaiser, 8 of them are legit Blossom Choice on the list right now as we speak. And these cars are just ridiculously strong. This is a Saloon King. The Peugeot 306 Max speaks for itself. The C8 La Violette is like your 1 mile test bowl god. The BRZ is the new Caterham that used to be an ultra rare. The Maybach 57S is the ultra rare version of the Cadillac 16. The Subaru Levorg is like, well, it's the new Subaru Legacy. I can't really say it that way because the Legacy was an RQ64 and it's so much better, but the Subaru Levorg brings a lot of value to the table. 86 handling, 4-wheel drive standard tires, can't go wrong with that. Jaguar XKR 75 175, it's second place in a lot of the drags. Like, it's very, very consistent, right? It's like one of the best all-rounder ultra rares, but it's also the best ultra rare for the fast circuit and the rolling fast circuit. The Jaguar XKR 175, you know, for 4 RQ less than the rest of the strong dragsters. The XKR 75 still has a low 0 to 60 with very, very strong MRA. I believe the MRA on that car is 95.83. Very, very, very strong, and it's slightly cheaper to use. You know, like, the main thing about the XKR 75 that differentiates it from the TVR T350 is that the Jaguar is going to beat the TVR everywhere where it matters. It has better MRA, it even has better handling. Yeah, it's slightly heavier, but you're not gonna put both these cars on a slalom anyway, or a G-force or anything like that. You can leave that to, you know, the Lotus 340R. So the Jaguar XKR 175, I think, is very strong. One of the best RQ60 bargains over there. This one, along with the Countach, both of these cars. But I would say that the XKR is still the stronger car because it has better MRA, and that 0 to 60 difference is literally so minuscule, okay? But even the MRA difference between both cars is super, super small. 95 in the Jag, 94. Well, you can say almost 96 in the Jag, and then a low 94 in the Lamborghini Countach. Range Rover is your go-to dragster off-roader now if you have all of that RQ to use for ultra rare. And then, of course, the Mercedes is a very strong quarter-mile car. So overall, in my opinion, this is how I would rank Old Guard. This is how I would rank from my experiences from everything that I've played so far. But let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my assessment or if you would change anything around. I'd be happy to hear this one because, like I said, this is probably the most subjective tier list that I've made so far, at least in recent memory. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks.